Black Girl Podcast 26. I'm Scotty Beam.
I'm Alicia P.
I'm Safira M.
Gia Peppers.
I'm Vex.
What are you laughing at?
I don't know. I have to bring some levity to the introductions, I guess. Raise it up. No one? No one?
Yeah.
You've been on a Jamaican accent binge
Okay.
since the last episode.
I mean, hey, whatever helps, y'all.
Yes.
Okay, we have a lot of things to talk about today. I think we have, we said we wanted to talk about updates first, or do we want to get to the Grammys, or do we want to talk about Quincy Jones? What are we going to do first?
Or the black woman.
Let's do updates.
Updates? Okay. Who wants to start with updates?
Not all at once.
G, you started, so go ahead.
I have been good working in the huge. Went to the Rock Nation brunch. That was
you can't gloss over that. Talk about it.
Yeah, no, I figured. Jesus is good. That's what we'll start with.
Yeah.
I was doing the carpet for the Recording Academy for the Grammys. And my editor at Essence, Corey Murray, who is the GOAT, entertainment director of Essence for the past decade, probably more. Sorry, Corey. She's also from the DMV. And so she walked past me on the carpet. Mind you, that carpet was crazy because they wanted you to stay from 10:30 to 4 with no food, no water, no tea, no nothing when they had mad food up there. So we were like, cool. This is not Jay-Z, you're not going to give us nothing, my G. You got mad money. You can't give us no waters. But anyway, throughout the carpet, Lala walked. All the people walked except for, the A-list people that you wanted to walk. So it was cool, but it was fun. Corey slides me a little envelope, and it has a card in there. I was supposed to do the Clive Davis carpet for Essence that night. But so I'm thinking it's the ticket. And so I open it, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, oh. It's an entry card. And so I'm like, oh, well, wow, crazy, brazy. So at the end of the carpet, everyone starts dying off. The carpet, press are regular people. You got the white-ass photographers from, Getty and mad people who are honestly, who's walking? Because they kept walking, every 15 minutes. So, you're used to carpets are 2 hours at max. You guys know. At max, you got 2 to 3 hours maybe. Right. They wanted you to stay for 5 hours with no water, no food, no nothing. So, them people from the AP Wire, they were like, we out. So they start leaving. So then my boss was like, well, y'all can stay down here for 30 more minutes and, whatever. So we stayed. Corey's texting me are you coming up or not? I said, sis, I'm on the way up. Ain't nothing you got to say to me. So we stayed, and then I went up and opened the doors open. First of all, have you guys ever been to One World Trade Center? When so there's an elevator that takes you all the way to the 115th floor or whatever floor. Wow. And it plays, and it has usually it's a digitized moment of what it would look like going up outside. So you see the city raising and all this stuff 3D. Jay-Z and them had sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Wow. And I'm just wow. Am I not rich? Because I am feeling rich. And so as you get to the top, you get, how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. I'm feeling good. Doors open. Mm-hmm. And you walk through, and it's white everywhere. You walk through, there's really nice people this is the way. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing here? No one. Right. And so then you walk in, and it's this beautiful, floor to ceiling, all open windows. You see the whole city, and it's gold everywhere. It's white everywhere.
Were you in The Wizard of Oz?
I was. And Jay-Z was Oz, okay?
Yeah, clearly.
Because it was like a dream. So I walked in there. Guess what song is playing? Family Feud. So that's my song of my lifetime. So I'm like, I can't even deal.
Your lifetime?
Of not my lifetime. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I just was trying to figure out what song.
Thank you for clarifying.
All right, that's it.
Because real life, it would be more like a Stevie Wonder as. Right. But okay, so we tried. I was having fun. And so we walked through, and Remy's over there talking to Mona, and then you keep walking. It's Daniel Caesar talking with his manager, and then you keep walking, and then you get this inner circle, and it's quite literally the inner circle of hip hop. So it's everybody talking to Hove. You walking over, it's Hove, Lenny S, all these people, Big Sean, Pusha. Everybody's just around in couches. So it's wow, this is really the inner circle, and wow, I'm really just outside watching. And so Corey and them was in there, like, you know, she had already been there for a few hours, so she had a few little drinks, you know what I'm saying? She was like, girl, it's lit in here. Like, I can't even deal. And I seen Adele, my friend Adele, who works at Tidal now. She's the content manager of all Tidal content. So she's been killing it over there. Like, I mean, if you guys been paying attention, there's been so many more shows now,
out
more
content
playlists, like babies.
Yes.
And so she's looking all nervous when I walk over to her, and I'm like, what's good, my G? Like, you actually got invited. Like, you good. And she's like, I have never met Jay-Z. And I was like, you mean your boss? She's like, yeah, I never met him. She was like, I can't go. I don't want to go. And I'm like, hey, all right, my G. I give it a Brooklyn talk. I'm like, dog, he's paying your rent. You feel me? He's your boss. You feel me? Like, he knows who you are. So we're walking. So she's like, okay. So we like 2-step over to the circle, you know, try to act like, you know, we cool, you know, we 2-step in. And so,
I don't even understand how I'm envisioning this whole
We are 2-stepping to the circle, like.
And we're like, you know, stopping and talking to people on the way. Like, I had seen Will Packer, and Will remembers me from like girls trip interviews. So he was like, how are you? You look great. But every single person who saw me was like, what are you doing in here? Like, you know, like,
Right.
no, not
I
in a bad way.
I get it.
But just was like, well, damn,
Right.
clout. Didn't know you were like lit like that. Like, Jay-Z picks who goes in there. It's no plus ones. There's no craziness unless like the directors of Fenty were in there. The directors of like all of all the shits was in there. Wow. So like when I think Corey had probably had another Essence editor and they didn't go, so she gave it to me because I was already on the carpet. So again, Jesus. So walking up, and so finally this dude Lenny passes us, and then another black dude that I don't know that Adele knows goes up to Hove, and we're like right in the circle, like trying not to make eye contact because we real close, but like not close enough because it was still mad rich people around him, like Steve Stout and all them. Right. So he was like. Those conversations are probably deals that are happening. So we're going to stay back here. And so finally.
You are so funny.
It's annoying. So finally we walk up and she's like, hi, my name's Adele. I just want to introduce myself. I'm the new content. He's like, stop. I know exactly who you are. The work that you're doing in Tidal is incredible. You can change in the game. I love it. Thank you so much for all the work you're doing. And I'm behind. I can't see her face, but her body literally is like that, like she like kind of like caved in. Thank you. And so I'm sitting in the back trying not to like smile. Like I was like, because I'm literally right behind her, like I can hear everything. And so then she's like, wow, oh my God, thank you so much, thank you. And so she begins to walk away, but you know I'm right behind her, so I was like giving her the eye, and she was like, oh, and this is my friend Gia. You know, she's a journalist as well. And so I introduced myself. I'm like, hi, I'm Gia. I just want to say congratulations on everything. Like, you deserve all the Grammys. I'm so proud of you, Hove. And he was just like, man, thank you so much. But then all the rich people came over, so that was the end of our time. And so I ain't have enough money to stay in the combo. You feel me? Like,
our time has come to an end.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Steve Stout came back over and was like, box out. So it was fine. I was like, Steve, you got it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then we walk away, and Adele, of course, is freaking out. And she's like, what just happened? Wow. Jay-Z said he loves my work. I said, I was there. I seen it. It's real. You are winning. There's nothing else that you need right now. You are the best in here.
Don't pay your student loan.
Don't pay anything.
Life is done.
Life is done.
Finish.
She's already interviewed Oprah. I said, that's all you need.
Oh, wow.
So through the
shout out to Adele.
Yes, Adele is one of the hardest working people. She deserves everything. And so we're walking through the party. We leave. We see Angie Martinez, who we all know in love. Angie is like, oh, my babies, you guys made it up. Da, 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 da. She's introducing us to people as like, she was like, these are the voices of the culture. These are young girls. These are my mini me's. And I'm like, Angie, yo, stop trying to make me cry because I already had Duce. Like, stop. And so then we
all know how Duce goes.
Okay. Shout out to Duce.
You sure do.
So,
if anybody else.
When we walk through to the gorgeous photo booth that the Kim and the Kardashians always use, them things really work. You look like Beyonce at all times. And so then we walked back.
Beyonce walks in.
So let me just fast forward
well, I was
to
confused.
when.
I was fucked up. Hold up.
Fucked
My
up.
bad.
Yeah,
Right.
I didn't think I looked that great. I mean, I looked
No,
cute.
Gia, you looked amazing.
But
I'm just saying,
I
like,
also thought
it's Beyonce.
So I didn't realize my dress black blazer jacket was that short until I had seen the pictures that I took in there, and I was like, damn, I probably look like a hoe in there. But everyone, if you were in there, I was not a hoe. I am not a hoe. I'll show you the pictures that I'm
really
talking
pure.
about. I'll show.
white.
So then
You did.
So then,
Communion.
So then I seen
pearls.
wow, yes. So then seen Cam from Duce Palooza, and he walks up, and I'm like, so what happened to you? Because this is, right as they announced the new Duce Palooza partnership. And I'm like, so what did Hov say? And he was like, that nigga hugged me. And I was like that's all he could say. He was like, he came up to me and hugged me. And I was like, you are rich. You are now rich. Like, there is nothing. You are rich now.
Right.
You have been
embraced.
You've been embraced. And he was like, nah. And I was like, do you think he's about to pull up to the Duce Palooza in LA? And he was like, I'm not saying that he's not. Like, he was just like, great like that. So then I walk up to B-Dot. B-Dot, who, we all know from the Rap Radar interview that went viral that we talked about for a long time here. They're personal friends with Hov. So B-Dot is like super drunk because I got up there at 3. It started at 12. 3:30. B-Dot super drunk, like, yo, this is crazy. And I'm like, is this? And Family Feud comes on again. And I'm like, this is your life that I'm living right now. Because I'm not used. This room is actually too much for me. And he was just like, nah, like, you belong here. You good. So then Corey is still super like, litty. She having fun. And she keeps texting us like, I feel it in the spirit that Beyonce is on her way. And it's starting to be like 4:30 and it's supposed to be done by 4. And so we're like, whatever, Corey, whatever. We just trying to, go back, get our pictures and then leave. So, and I got to see Daniel Caesar and tell him how much I loved him. And he was so nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, and I was
He's
like,
such a nice man.
yeah, I love him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, if you weren't so young, I would marry you.
No.
Yeah.
You
could write-
Let's be realer than
He
real.
could write a really great love song.
I'm sure. But
about-
you would marry him if he was our age? Gia?
For a year or so.
And then what happens?
Annul it.
And then you'll
But-
wake up and open eyes.
Annulment.
Right.
And then,
And your eyes would be open.
hey, Daniel Caesar is
He's a sweet guy. I had
Okay.
a whole full conversation with him. Great
yes,
guy.
yes.
But
How old is he?
he's
like 20.
yeah, he's a baby. He's like 21.
Come on.
Adorable.
But
Anyway.
shout out to him.
So long story
Beautiful
short,
songs.
we got back in the inner circle because people started to leave. Like Diddy and Cass were in there, chilling. Cassie is gorgeous. Like, doesn't even make sense how pretty she is. And I was again the Duce, and so she was walking through, and I said Cassie, and I didn't think she heard me. I don't know why. I have a loud voice, but she stops and comes over to me. Because again, the room was rich, so she's like, I obviously know this person.
Right.
She gets 2 inches close to me, and she realizes that I
No
don't know
idea.
you.
Right.
But she was so nice. She was just like, oh, okay. I was just like, hey, I just want to let you know you're really pretty.
Wait, what did she do?
Gia is crazy. But Gia does stuff like that where she has such confidence in like it'll just come out. When I was with you at Essence, she'd be like, "Hey, Kofi," I'm like, "Oh my God!" Like you just speak to like she speaks to anybody.
They're
and
human
it's
beings.
amazing. They're human beings.
Human beings. And
It is amazing.
Now, the Cassie, I was trying to tell Adele and Chantel, who also works at Tidal and Rock Nation, that I was trying to be like, Cassie looks good.
Yeah, but it
came out like, Cassie! Cassie looked. And Cassie heard me. I didn't think she was going to hear me. So she stopped and she gave me a hug. And I was like, yes, okay, good to see you. Okay, bye. She gave the hug.
Clearly a nut,
And
guys.
kept walking.
It's crazy.
So then, finally, we are standing in the inner circle. Normandy from Fifth Harmony and Justine were like being super cute and like talking to the guys and the Diddy sons and stuff. So we were like trying to hang with the young kids. We young. And so then we...
The Diddy sons.
Except they're just a little bit younger than us.
About 10 years. About a smooth 10.
Justine, I think, is what, like 23?
She's
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
she's
we were like,
22.
so, but I mean, we weren't, like, there's a real age gap. Like, cause Remy and them are like, what, 40?
Well, yeah,
30,
pushing
38, about the 38.
You know what I'm saying? So it's still, I felt more comfortable with the youngins. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Plus, they're nicer. And so they was
Right.
just trying to get pictures too. And so we're taking pictures with Big Sean. Adele's like talking to him about life and stuff. And he's like, boy. And then he didn't actually say boy. And so then
Stand Gia.
all this commotion starts at the in my peripheral vision, like left. And I seen a ponytail. And I said,
That's all we needed to say.
that's Beyonce. I don't know what I looked like, but I remember my head like smoothly juking through the crowd to get as close as I did to her. So we get up to there and we look to the right and it's Mariah. And I'm like, wow, Mariah Carey, Beyonce, two of the women who have shaped my whole life are standing right
Are they
here.
really friends? They're friends? They were talking like they were friends?
Yeah, I mean, they were catching up. They were like, girl, yes, da-da-da-da. And Beyonce was like, yeah. And then Mariah was like, like, you know,
Yes.
honey. I mean, honestly. I mean,
Sonic.
dog. I mean, isn't this crazy? They're all over us. Oh,
But
God.
isn't that really crazy that even in a room full of, you know, affluent people, like everyone still gravitates and jukes their heads.
yes,
to the crowd.
it doesn't
Keep
matter.
saying.
Like,
I
even
think that's so like
Yeah.
that says
Incredible.
something.
Beyonce.
Like
it's Beyonce.
It's God.
I mean, Jay-Z was
I mean,
there.
It's not God.
Close to it.
Jay-Z was there.
Close
My
to it.
God.
Like Jay-Z was there, and everybody was like, "Oh."
Well, Jay-Z was
he
there
loved
for
me.
4
He did
hours.
this, He did that, but like
Still.
Beyonce,
It's
If
Rock
Beyonce
Nation
was there
brunch,
for
not
4
Parkwood
hours,
brunch.
You would have. Everybody would have stayed.
Everybody
stood
would have
around
still
her.
been like, it's
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Hey, it's Beyonce here for 4
right,
hours.
not gonna drink Douce because Beyonce.
Beyonce
Right,
here.
right.
So she
Can
came
y'all
in like
stop doing this, please? Yeah. Annoying
Beyonce.
shit out of me.
Beyonce.
I did the shoulders because Dion.
So she comes at 4:30. The brunch is supposed to end at 5 o'clock, and a lot of people had already started leaving. Diddy and Cassie were trying to walk out, but then they saw her, and then they did the whole like black couple moment, like da da da, hey, what's up, excellent. And we were just all standing there, like, wow, this is cool.
Excellent.
Mad money.
Excellent.
And so Beyonce then walks over to Jay, wipes the sweat off of his lip, gives him a
Yes,
kiss.
that's
and,
what
like,
you do to your husband.
gives him a kiss.
I love this sweat
Gives him the
nose.
most beautiful hug, and they're just like standing like this after she made it through the crowd. So again, people were like encompassing her. They were trying to get pictures. Like, she only took pictures with celebrities and the people she knew, like the people she's worked with. So again, the room is handpicked. So I'm like, but I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking, this is Beyonce. Corey's over here hyping me up like, go get your moment, sis. That's the one. She's Beyonce. You love her. Tell her.
No,
and
what?
So, she was drunk.
Oh,
And so then we were having fun. We were having a great time.
Just
We had
write
a
a
brunch.
movie of this one experience.
because I'm about to
I'm
run.
so into
Go ahead,
Julia.
Nia.
So, long story short, I go up. I finally get like, Julius is
Oh my
not
God.
the fucking one. I finally get up to B, and I'm like, hi, I love you. I'm so.
Gia.
Yeah.
Look at her in her face.
What? Y'all didn't see the video? I was literally right now. We bumped booties. Her booty is firm and beautiful.
Wait,
I was like,
rewind.
You didn't tell me this.
yes, I did. I told you that I said hello, and I said, do you mind if we take a quick picture? Because I don't want to bother you too long. And then she said, I'm so sorry. I'm so overwhelmed. I
can't.
cannot take a picture.
I can't.
And then Julius is not the one
Oh my.
ever. So
Gia.
as soon as she said no, he was like,
Excuse me.
and it wasn't like rude. It
By
was
the
like
way, because the listeners can't see you.
Oh.
Gia just
a tap, like a little move, like a
slight tap.
a slight tap, like all right.
Right.
Not a. He ain't look at me though. He just gave me
An
the.
elegant push.
Wait,
I
so
said
what
you
did you
6'8"
tell her?
and 340 pounds.
What
And
did you tell
finance.
her?
That's what I
Yeah.
said. I said, B, I know this is so crazy, but do you mind if we get a quick picture? And she was just like, I'm sorry. I'm overwhelmed. I cannot do it. I'm sorry. It was a lot of people around her. She had just taken like 3,000 pictures, and I was just like, oh, well, I was heartbroken. I ain't gonna lie to you because it's B. But I got over it real quick because I was like, at the end of the day,
You spoke to her.
they don't know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a +1. Like, imagine having a wedding reception and inviting everyone, and then some random girl comes up to you and is like, can I have a picture with the bride? Excuse you?
That's a good way to put it.
Do you even know?
It's an amazing.
Like,
Get out.
Good job.
do you even know my, like, I'm the bride, okay?
Yes.
Like, I came late. I was getting ready, but please back the fuck up. So she was nice about it. I might not have been. I would have been like, who are you?
At least she was
Julius.
nice about it.
Push her out.
Right.
So I was just like, So yeah, long story long.
Yeah.
Rock Nation is incredible, and they about to take over whatever they haven't taken over.
That's
Again.
what's up.
Yeah, so
That's
poppin'.
what's
It was dope.
Congrats, yo. You needed that moment for
No,
sure.
I definitely did because I've
That
been
was
feeling
beautiful.
dumb, like just stupid. Like I think all of us have this passion and fight when we first get into the industry, and then after a while, you start to like one gig after another that says no. You're like, ooh, every single time a little bit of you dies, like just
Yes.
like 10%.
Yes.
It's like a dang.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, you're operating on 10% and
Yeah.
fighting for the little flame that is left.
Right.
And I think that doused my fire. Like
Yes.
if anything, it was just like, here, okay, yes, it's hard, but it's not impossible.
Don't forget.
And so don't forget where you started. And so it was incredible. And I'm thankful to be in that room. And I'm thankful to every single person that, embraced me in there, because you didn't have to. I was definitely in +1, but I made it.
dope.
And the Lord is good.
Yes.
That's so dope, yo.
Yeah, it was
I
dope.
really sat here envisioning the entire thing.
It was
in part
beautiful.
because yeah.
Sorry that story was so long. But yeah, that was it. Crazy time. But who wants to go next?
Savira? Alicia?
Safi.
Oh, hey guys. What have I been up to?
Pink lip popping.
Hey, high
Just,
pitch.
yeah, so I've been up to not much, just working. I did celebrate my SassBox 2-year anniversary. Paired up with Team Sanchez New York to produce it, and then there were a lot of Black-owned female brands that were involved in it.
That's dope.
People were getting their hair cut. People were feeling body scrubs. People were shopping for sneakers. It was a bunch of dope brands. If you go to @sassbox_, you can see everybody that was involved. I appreciate everybody. That's what I've been up to. I also dyed my hair.
It is pink.
Yes,
Yes.
it's like
a
Salmon.
I wouldn't say
I'll
salmon.
say salmon.
It's
It's salmon.
it's
giving me blonde
something.
pink.
It was supposed to be rose gold, but hey,
It was rose gold, but didn't it like turn a little
It
bit?
turned, and
Yeah.
who knows, Lord, it'll be something else next week probably.
Do lavender. All right. I'm really into this lavender. I don't know. Leash?
Lavender.
I have finally gotten comfortable in my position at my new place. I was struggling in the beginning. Different role, different responsibilities, different field. But within the last month or so, I've been like getting really comfortable with like handling meetings, because I'm in a lot of meetings now. I went from being like in 2, which was 1 was weekly, and I was barely going to those, to like in a meeting all day at work and speaking to clients on the phone and dealing with our production team and planning to shoot events and working with clients one-off. So I'm finally starting to feel like a little more confident. So I'm happy about that. I literally felt like that today. I think today I was like, all right, you're better than you thought than you were. Because at first I was really struggling with like, I don't know if this is going to last. I wasn't as good as I thought I was, which is okay, because sometimes you need to be shaken to the core. I was at MS for 6 years doing the same routine. So sometimes you forget that outside of that, there's other companies with other obligations and other just bottom lines, and I didn't think I was going to fit into that. So it's just refreshing to know that I'm finally getting there. And I think I just felt like I could do it as soon as I got there, forgetting that I still had to learn how another company operated on top of that. Like even just using the email system they use, I forgot that I had to even do that. Yeah. So I'm finally getting in the flow, and people are like starting to connect with me and talk to me more and just like laugh with me and make jokes. I'm like, all right, I'm starting to feel comfortable now. Not comfortable, because I'll never be like completely comfortable.
Yeah.
I never did.
No.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, I'm at Complex. I thought I
Yay!
did.
Boom, boom, boom.
I thought I told you said that like 3 episodes ago. Yeah, I'm at
We tried
Complex.
to get it out of you, and you're like,
And you were like,
I don't want to
I mean, I didn't. I kinda still didn't want to say, but nah, I don't give a fuck at this point. Yeah, I've been at Complex. I've been at Complex as a coordinating producer since September 12th of 2017. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I know it's been a while
Comfortable.
already.
Yeah, she was being secretive and stuff.
Yeah, because I wanted to make sure I was in the spot. You feel me? Got to get out of the 90-day probationary time.
That's real.
And then,
Been past that.
I mean, we also haven't recorded, but whatever.
All right, we recorded
Oh,
last night.
here last night.
What have you been
Yeah,
up
but
to?
wait. So I went to the Clive Davis red carpet,
Yes.
and how you felt at that Rock Nation brunch of just feeling like, damn, I got work to do. Make a long story short, that's exactly how I felt going to the Clive Davis red carpet. I wasn't even supposed to be there. It was kind of just the last minute. A friend of mine was like, yo, just come with me. I need somebody to shoot social for me. So I just went with her. Shout out to Sandra. Got there, whatever. And I was like, yo, next year I can't be anybody's +1. Like, niggas need to just be like, I want Black Girl Podcast at Rock Nation Brunch, or I want Alicia P or Gia Peppers or Rebecca or whoever at these places, because
Bitch,
at this
you pointed
point,
to me. I'm not whomever.
Right, and me.
first of all, Don't come for me. Neither one of y'all.
No, you were just
I
like,
said Black Girl Podcast. That is everybody.
to let the listeners know.
Just 3.
All right,
And
man.
she said,
Next.
whomever.
Next, y'all will be fine. Anywho, next year, my goal is for us, myself included, is to not be a +1
Nice save.
and to be at these events because people want us there.
Nice save, Alicia.
Oh God, whatever.
Now, that's what's up.
Anyways,
Grammys weekend looked like it was really
it was cool. It was cold as fuck, but it was cool.
It was gross. It was cold.
Yeah, it was cool.
But I had my legs out on the day. It was 50.
Both of y'all, I saw both y'all little pictures on the little Instagram.
Don't come for my little picture.
So,
No.
Scott Alicia.
Grammy weekend was insane. It was a lot. That's probably it for me. It just was it was a lot. My body was sore at the end. I tried to make it to everybody's
She
party.
did. She was out.
I was trying to get to everybody's party that invited me because I was like, I want to be, I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do want to go. So I did that. Green Lantern knew my name, which I was very excited about. And also, I hung with Young Guru. I think that was the highlight of my whole experience of life. And that was pretty much it for Grammy weekend. I experienced a setback with Satori Radio because they shut down the whole radio station. They threw it all away. So I'm trying to not go into a depressive state as of right now. So I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm hanging out with Gia, my friend Sylvia, and Danny, and trying to like make sure I stay afloat with like doing stuff and whatever. I just, you get inside your head when you're without something, and then it's like, even though it was only for 2 months, it's just a setback for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, but God is good. I'm going to LA to cover some All-Star stuff, and I'll be there for 10 days. So please help me if you
10
know
days?
me. I'll be there forever. I'm leaving on the 11th. I'll be coming back the 21st. So, basically,
I'll be there with you.
You'll be there with me,
At
but
the
Gia will
13th.
be there on the 13th, which means I have 2 days of just
no, the
loneliness and
15th.
death.
I was supposed to go too.
And
15.
So basically 4 days of loneliness and death.
She not gonna be lonely.
So,
You're probably gonna end up staying over there.
hell no, I would die first. So then, and that's pretty much it. I don't really rock with LA. Everybody knows that.
Yes,
I
we know
don't
you
do
in New
it.
York. Through and through.
But yeah, that was it. Trying to make sure I see through my therapist and stay afloat and whatever, because the bitch is lost. But I'm gonna do something. I don't know.
Really?
I'm lost, kinda. But I don't know. And my grandmother has cancer. It's a lot. It's really sad. So yeah,
You're not lost.
Wow.
kinda.
But you're upset, so we keep your grandma in our thoughts and prayers. But you're not lost.
I think I'm lost.
You're not lost, bro.
It's just hazy.
You're not.
Still on the path.
You're
It's
not
just
lost.
hazy. It's foggy.
You're doing good.
Wandering, finding.
That's lost.
Searching.
Aimlessly walking.
That is lost, Gia.
Wrong word.
It's just a little foggy on the path. That's
But I don't
it.
want to hit nobody with depressed. I
But
understand.
no.
Everybody's gonna
It's like
get-
fog when you
I
first come out
just-
the house in the morning.
It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, once you
Yes.
drive down the block, it's gone.
what?
You just gotta find a car.
You gotta find the car because it's so foggy outside.
God.
That's what we do. We
Still lost, but it's okay.
Still
You're
lost.
bothered.
Still don't
No,
know.
but I don't want to like make sure. I want to make sure that we're also acknowledging like we are here for you either way. So if you feel lost, we riding with you. If when you find yourself,
I
we
actually
riding
have the
with
car.
You.
So
Me too, but mine's in Maryland. What is you saying?
no, I'm saying like I have the car she's looking for. So
So we riding
walk
out.
down the block.
I have to go.
It was a lot,
Yeah.
but I'm all right.
Yeah,
Vex,
you are.
Yeah.
what is going
What?
on with you?
Yeah.
I have a special. I did some things.
What
I
did
planned
you-
my own personal productions for
Yes,
a surprise
planning
for someone in my life, and I hope that he likes it.
Okay.
Okay, there's some previews
Okay.
on social.
All right. Yes, it looks
okay?
really nice.
Thank
Some
you.
sneak peek everywhere.
You look like a model.
Oh my God.
It's so
It's
pretty.
the filter.
No,
It's
you're
the filter.
you're really pretty.
It's the filter.
It's not. You
My
look
head
the
was
same.
down. What pretty did you see, Gia?
It was
you.
the complexion, right?
It was your
the
body.
complexion,
It was the
body,
sweater. It was the lighting. It was
the
you.
necklace sitting ever so
You know,
gently on your
he
chest.
gave me that necklace.
After this episode, Rebecca will have her information in her
Right.
bio.
Booking info and
Right.
bio.
For booking info.
But shout out to Elliot Ashby. He took those lovely photos.
Elliot.
And I also gave my 2 weeks notice to Hot 97 this past Monday.
Why that song? But why that song?
I think I'm the last of the Mohicans. Like I'm just no longer. There's no more.
Damn,
None
no
of us
more.
are there.
Nope.
Yay!
I'm so happy for you.
I'm relieved.
So what are you most excited about?
Say that again, Leash.
What are you most excited about to go into the new place?
You know what happened? I asked for a raise.
Talk about it.
Asked for a raise, and I put everything. I was like, you know what? Let me just really sit down and figure out what is it that I've done over the past X amount of years. What have I contributed? And after really enumerating everything I've done, categorizing them, and the repetitive phrase was, which did not exist before my tenure. I was like, wow, I've really done too much, and I don't feel valued. And I've been thinking that I wasn't doing enough because it was never like, you're great, thank you, you feel I never felt that like redemptive kind of like feedback. And then I put all that stuff down, and I was like, no, I actually do deserve a raise. I'm well overdue for a raise. And I was like, I actually do too much here to stay here and do what I do. I'm ready to do more because all of this is just repetitive work for me. So I was like, I'm really ready for a new challenge. I'm really ready to feel nervous and scared and learn a new environment and a new climate and just get acclimated to things, like just take another step. Because if I stayed there, like,
That would have been it.
there's no next move.
How long were you at Hot?
3, I think, this past January 20th. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Because recognizing your worth is probably the hardest thing to do at any job.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Because especially when I haven't heard, I can't even say that.
Damn, I wish you could.
I can't. But I just,
It's okay.
I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings at Hot, whatever. But I know a lot of people have been underpaid for a long time.
Very long time.
Not just at Hot, but at everywhere. You know, but there are people that get the amount of salary that they deserve. A lot of companies don't do that, and that makes me very upset because there's people that do multiple jobs. Not even, there's people that be like, oh, that's not my job. Like, that is not my job. It's not in my position description. I'm not going to do it. Those people exist. But then there's people that sit here and they're like, okay, I can do it all as long as you recognize that I'm doing it all. They don't recognize any of that. And then they use this word grind, which drives me fucking crazy. The grind. Now, at 21, 22, when you still not paying taxes, not really, you're still like kind of, you know how to go on Tax Turbo and like put your taxes in and do shit like that. Like stuff like that, it doesn't really mean anything. It's when, you are an adult at 27, 28, 29, when you're living by yourself or trying to get together and get your credit together and buy something and own something, and they're still paying you the salary of a 23-year-old.
Right. Nuts, bro.
Because that is exactly what I experienced.
We all experience
Right.
it.
So, and I'm not to
just
shit on
crazy.
anybody, anything, but I'm saying after leaving and recognizing your worth, you will say, you say to yourself, like, damn, I could be getting all this for 2 years ago. If I sat down and was like, is it really? Like, I'm really in the amount, I can't wait. Like, when I get older and older and older and I start making lots more money, I'm going to tell people how much I was paid at Hot.
But it's so crazy because I hear you saying
One day.
Laughable.
It is
I just told somebody the
embarrassing.
other day how much, and they was like, "No, you weren't. I made more at Target." And I was like, "Yeah, bro."
Yeah.
Like, but I was gonna say it's crazy that you're like, when I get older and older, I want to be making this much amount of money. Like, why is it that we feel when we get older, we want to make that much money? Why can't we feel that way now and be accepted as that for the work that we're doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the crazy part.
I will say this though, the one thing that I will thank Emma's for is making me work and learn every part of
like boot
every
camp.
production I've ever been in.
Yeah.
When I tell you other companies have it there. So I literally did in my position at Hot, maybe 5 or 6 other people, like 5 or 6 people should be doing one production that I do. Like, so if there's 3 cameras, we got to do lighting, audio, whatever, there's a person for each of them people. That's about 10 people in the production. I used to do that by myself. So when you go to another place of business that literally has a person for every position, a director, a DP, a producer, a production management, a coordinator, a fucking executive producer, literally on sets. And this be regular shit that you just shooting in the office. You're like, damn, I was fucking working hard. But the one thing you don't regret about that is that now you know that you have the capability to do all these things and you're a one-man band, and that is a blessing that you could take and walk with you. I'm sure half the stuff that she's going to be doing now, Rebecca will be doing now. Good, thank you for catching that.
No, it's okay.
It's probably going to be even less work than what she's doing that she was doing at Hot. But now she has the capability of shooting a camera, editing. Like if she didn't have to do that, but she may not have ever done it. Right. Not saying that, you may not have wanted to grow for yourself or whatever. I'm just saying that if it wasn't what it was in that environment, she wouldn't have known how to edit. Now she could put that on her resume. She wouldn't have known how to shoot a camera, but now she could put that on a resume. She wouldn't have known how to do audio. Now she can. Now that makes your value go up. So while we were stressed, working hard, fighting, or whatever the case may be, we come out of here with skill sets that are unparalleled to most people. Like you can't put me against
I'm not giving to the company. I'm giving it to myself.
Well, yeah, that was the whole point of what I'm saying. Yeah, you have that for you.
The company.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I'm speaking for me and for Rebecca, because she has we were in the same situation. So now you're leaving with these skill sets that are unparalleled and unmatched to whomever is about to come your way. Because the person in her position might not, this position before her, probably didn't know how to shoot and edit. And maybe she can now, so she'll bring value to that. And if she wants to work on a production herself, she could do that for herself. So
charge more.
And charge more. And your price went up. It's true. You could go on the table with that.
That's definitely true how it's across the board. Like we're not just bashing Ms.
No.
I'd love to. But
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I was fired from there, so I could bash them all the fucking day. But yeah.
It's an interesting thing for sure, because I feel like a lot of companies, especially black companies, which it sucks because it's like.
But is it a black company, Ms? Is that what we're talking about? Or you just?
Well, I'm saying in general.
Okay.
I was working with Ebro personally, so I can't say the MS. Like they tried to come at me with like $400 for doing like 20 hours of work, like running the whole thing. And I was like,
girl, that's regular.
I was like,
you should be thankful.
I know. What?
I'd be like, if we gonna go there, I used to pray.
I won't be working.
$550 hit my account.
Yeah, I was like, no, I won't be working
this week.
And Ebro was like, nah, I'll take care of you. I was like, yeah, because I won't do it. Oh, $400 for the month. Yes. To run the whole site.
Yes.
A month? For the
So
month.
To
run, sorry.
$200 a week, sis.
Sorry, $400 for the month to run the whole site. I said, you try to.
That's a steak dinner.
Said,
what?
Barely.
I said,
are you excited?
I said, Ebro, I won't be doing this.
So,
but I will say, unfortunately, I know a lot of people who are in the media game who have not been paid for work that they've done, especially freelancers. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
I have several outstanding checks from companies that I love and revere and respect. And then, some that I don't, but I still got to get these checks. But at the end of the day, it's just like, yo, people, if someone says they're going to work for you, do not play with their money. Like, we are in New York. This isn't a joke. Like, you will get evicted and be homeless with the rest of the people out here on the train. And it's not funny.
We're not going to be homeless.
I'm not. I mean, we not. But I'm just saying, like, imagine if you came up here with $7.
But think of the situations that all of us have, right? What, like, they are we're grateful for the parents that we have in our lives. We're grateful for all the situations.
The family.
But at the end of the day, you can't be 30 and like, yo, ma, I promise you, I got you next week. I promise you. I couldn't be 25 saying that to my mother. Like,
that's fact.
No, it's really real out here. I mean, I think people don't see the other side of it. Like, yes, it looks great on Instagram, and yes, we're working with all these people that you might want to look up to, but like, we like in freelancing, you don't get a check every 2 weeks.
Right.
Like in freelancing, you don't know if they're going to really pay you after the 30,
Right.
60 day.
Right.
Like I had to follow up with the company that I worked with 2 months ago. And they were like, you ain't get your paper?
Wow.
You ain't get it? And I was like,
Yeah, no, it happens.
Was it black?
yep. And
But
so,
it'd be white companies too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It'd be white companies, it'd be black companies, brands that think that, you know, since there's such a big brand that you're not supposed to want money. And I'm like, no.
it's a no.
I will
It's
say
no.
this though.
You're acting as if, you know, because you are coming to me. The thing is with these brands too, I'm realizing they're coming to the black women. They're running to the black women.
Because they know we the money makers.
Right. So they will say, oh, we'll give you some free blah, blah, blah. And you'll be like, well, no, that's not.
I can't pay
That
salary.
doesn't pay my bill.
And try
Like
to
I can't do that. And then they call you like money hungry or you're greedy or whatever it is. No, I don't want the product. I want the money. And I don't know if that makes me look like a bitch or not, especially a freelancing.
Yeah.
Like I'm freelancing now. So I can't really play around. This is definitely making me learn how to use money management because that shit is hard. Having a check every 2 weeks is cool. That shit is dope. I mean, if you're having, you know, a good amount of money. But if you are getting a lump sum of $8K for about a few months, you don't know.
It's
where
done.
it's gonna
Spread
go.
that shit.
It's crazy.
Yeah. If
I
you
think
don't.
as long as you, I don't think there's anything wrong with the grind, but as long as you know when you're plateauing on that grind and there's another step to the next grind, that's when you're supposed to move. Don't stay too long where you're unwanted.
But
And I
what-
think that is where you have to figure out if you're being valued. And I think that's the bigger conversation, your value at that place. You grind and grind and grind until you ask for more. And when you continue to ask for no more and they keep saying no, that's when you leave. And then you go to the next grind and the next thing or whatever that may be. Because at some point you're gonna burn yourself out, and
That's
I feel
what
like
I'm about to say. Like, what is the grind?
right.
Like,
I mean, I think that just varies for everybody.
Squeezing pennies, trying to. That's what the grind was for me. I was squeezing pennies, making sure I slept at the station just so that I could get
Boy.
a chance to learn the boards, and then also be there for the morning show or be there on Angie's thing. Because I didn't. You know, my mom, just because my mom was on the radio doesn't mean she was giving me money. She made it very clear. If I wanted to be out in these streets, you would have to get your own thing. And at 23, $200 a week is cool. $200, I'm sorry. $200 every 2 weeks is cool. Right? So you're trying to make it work at 23 years old with $200 every 2 weeks. But that's the grind for me, where you're working as hard as you possibly can with
Right.
the amount of money. But I know people, and you know people, who are completely trying to make it work with $3.75 trying to get on the fucking train, which is not cool. And they are 28, 30 years old. That shit is not cool.
Yep.
So we could grind it up all in one and be all uplifting and shit like that. But no, let's be real. 29 years old and 30 years old trying to squeeze pennies to get on a metro, on a train is not cool, bro. Especially if they're there all day at work and you're asking them to do shit. That's not cool.
And you calling them a part-timer. I'm sorry.
No, I was that
Part-time
person. The person she's speaking of is me as well. I know exactly whom you speak of. I was that person before September 12th. Like, let's be very clear. I don't have any problem saying how much my check was. I even showed my coworkers. I was like, at Complex, like, let me show y'all so y'all can understand how much of a blessing this is to me. Because there were times where I had to spend the night at the station, not because I had to wake up in the morning, but because I knew that I got paid on Friday. It's Wednesday. I can't get home. So let's be clear. I understand that grind. So what I'm saying is you get to a point where you plateau, where you realize there's nothing else to learn in this grind. So what you have to do is, what am I going to do to move myself forward in the next steps? What is it? Am I going to work for myself? Am I going to leave and brand myself? Am I going to look for another company that's going to quote unquote value me better or pay me more or teach me something else? Depending on what your next steps are, that's what you move forward to.
Right.
But I do think sometimes you need to go through that grind. And let's be clear, I'm 31. I was 31 in September when I was getting them $200-$300 every 2 week checks. Yes, it looks good on Instagram. I was an intern at Hot at 25. An intern at Hot at 25. So I understand the grind more than anyone. I feel like, I don't want to say like taking it away from that,
Yeah.
but at 25, what I felt like being an intern and then being 30 and asking for a full-time position, that's embarrassing. Like, you feel bad. Like, I'm 30. Why am I still asking for you? And y'all know I work fucking hard. Like, I feel like everybody in this room could say Alicia worked fucking hard. If anybody deserved anything, is Alicia. And there's other people in that company that not only deserves raise, but title changes. Some people in there who were fucking regular junior video producers who should be senior video producers, or fucking directors of departments, like dead ass, or talent if that's what they want to be. Like, everybody in that company and other companies as well deserve, especially if you're busting your ass, to get what you at least deserve.
I think
what the bare minimum is, and that is what you have to realize. What is your bare minimum? And if they're not meeting that standard of bare minimum, you gotta fucking leave, even if there's nothing there.
It's a thin line between. For me, looking at it, because like you said, you've been through it. Deani explained her story. I believe all of us in this room experienced it, particularly obviously with Emmis and in other arenas and other places in our personal lives. To me, it's just, I kind of get annoyed hearing the grind so much from peers and from different people, because it's a thin line. It's kind of like a thin line between the grind and being abused. Because and speaking from my personal experience.
Oh no, absolutely.
No, let me finish. Yeah. Speaking from my personal experience, since we're like all tapping into it, my personal experience with Emmis, it started to become abuse. And like, it back to the whole valuing type of situation. Like, you're going to have somebody doing X amount for so long, and after the certain months is up, and you give the person a certain amount of time to review what's going on. Oh yeah, this is great, and our numbers have done amazing on the site. Numbers equal money to me. Oh yeah. So it's a thin line, but it's really a thin line that you have to recognize.
Exactly.
I understand what I'm saying is, I understand your point of view as far as going through the motions and climbing the ropes, but I also understand Dee's point of view as far as
at a certain age.
It's not even from.
I don't think it's age,
a certain
though.
age. I think it's knowing what the fuck you're worth.
That's all I'm saying.
But then also, Alicia, I lost my train of thought.
I think that the thing is about this, first of all, we don't want to get sued by anybody, so let's just, these are our personal experiences with this company.
Who got
We talking real, and I love that we're transparent with our audience. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is a perfect conversation, because I know there's a lot of companies that treat people like that, especially women of color like this. We make, I think, 50 cents to $1 of what white women, white men, anything make. So I think it takes time to know your worth. It takes time to learn the game. But I will say, if you are going to venture out and work for yourself, understand that not only is the first most important brand you ever work for is yourself, but also understanding that you have to become a self-starter, or else you literally won't eat. You literally will not have anything else to do but you just sit in the house. And I had to go through that myself and turn my brain into all right, but you've been chilling, watching the reel. What's the reel about to do for you, my G? So I think I have to just be very real. If you are a freelancer, if you think that you can leave your company and gang and you want to be a freelancer and you're really not about this life, just you in for a rude awakening. That's all.
And also just make sure at least you have something.
Some money.
Sometimes you don't, some people like me who quit I quit because I just couldn't deal with it anymore. I didn't want to do it, but I had something saved. I had money saved.
Right.
I wanted to make sure I was okay. Mm-hmm. But before you make that leap and you figure out there's nothing else, for you to do here, just make sure that you at least have something. Yeah. Something small. It don't have to be much, but if your mental is that, listen, there's a lot of, the mental abuse that goes on at different companies, and you feel like, listen, I can't deal with it no more. I'd rather live at my mom's crib and chill out until I figure out what I want to do. Mm-hmm. A lot of things like that happen. I mean, a lot of that happens. There's no judgment there, but just making sure, once you take that leap of faith, you out there on your own. There is no more $200 check every 2 weeks.
Right.
And it's going to feel lonely and crazy, but you will be okay and you'll find your way.
So
I do want to say something.
Yes, I was gonna ask you how. Like, do you feel a sense of relief moving forward, or like?
I do, but I was told something, and the person that said you are just a number to a corporation. You are just a number. And for me, I was just like, whoa, that's insensitive. Like, how could you say that? But it's like, you have to understand that a corporation is capital, is business. It is a machine. Yep. You are a person that facilitates the lucrative, profits of the machine, but you are just a number. You're just someone who can be replaced. And so it's like, if you know that continues to be consistent from whatever place you go, no matter what company you go to, what your new opportunity is, you're always going to be a number. So what you should try to subscribe to or try to attach your value to is what you actually do. Like, what are you, the value that you place in yourself is actually what you do. You should love what you do more than loving where you do it at. Because that is not a guarantee. What is a guarantee is what lights your fucking flame and what keeps you going. And that's where you should be investing your value and rechecking and being present and jotting down what you did new, jotting down what you want to do, and realizing if you're doing the same shit and you somewhat mastered it and you want to learn more, but you just don't have the opportunities to do it, like Alicia was saying, it's time for you to press forward.
Leave.
Press forward for your own shit independently, or press forward to someplace else where you can continue to learn more. But always remember, you're still a number. Even if you're the director of cultural advancement against color folk at Google, you're still a number to a company.
Facts.
And so your contract, which is the best type of security you can have with a corporation, comes to an end. Right. Then you can renegotiate your numbers. You might be more costly at that point. Or they're like, we had a good time with you, and I think this is where our road ends. And then they find somebody who can do the job, emulate what you did in the job, and emulate it at a lower price. So it's like, just you got to know your personal value. That goes with friendships, relationships, and your money. And a lot of things that I heard throughout all of us that was consistent was, I worked so hard, they should have seen, they this, they that. It's not up to them. It's not up to them. It's not up to them. They're going to bleed you till you're dry. It's not up to them to recognize anything you do. It's up to you to recognize that in yourself. Right. And be like, yeah, I think I'm good now. Yep. I'm ready to move on.
By the way, Black women take home $7.63 less per hour, and Hispanic women take home $8.90 less per hour than white men and white women.
Don't be afraid to negotiate your worth either. That's something that I had to learn.
Moving people don't rock the boat
into the next job. Like, I had to prep myself. I actually prepped myself for a negotiation meeting so I could fight for what I want, even though I knew whatever they were going to give me, it was going to be a blessing because of what I didn't have before. But I wanted to go make sure I went into the mental, preparing myself mentally to debate and know that, yes, whatever you're going to get is going to be a blessing because it's something you didn't have before. But you have to understand your worth and know what the position you're going for is worth, like what the standard industry standard is, and then apply your worth to that. So if the industry standard for a position is $5 and you feel like your worth is 10, go in and say 15. So that when you get there and they say 15 is too much and they say 10, then you get what you actually go for, what you felt like you were worth for. And I had to prepare myself for that. And don't ever think because you're a woman or because you feel like the number that you may be asking for is crazy and they're not going to give it to you. Don't ever, ever, ever underestimate your worth and what a company or a corporation or a client of yours may give you because you don't feel confident enough or you don't feel like they're going to give it to you. Always push for it because 9 times out of 10, you may actually get it. It's just a playing game
so
and rolling
crazy.
the dice.
Once I found out how much certain people were making, and I'm like, why are you still here? You're pretty comfortable. And I found out other ways they were getting checks cut wasn't necessarily what their job title was. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
You know what's consistent? They weren't black.
Come on, preaching.
They weren't black.
That's the truth.
I'm like, why is it that we always why do we just cower? Why do we trend to cower at things like that, at asking for what we think we deserve? Why do we always...
Where's that from?
I know it can track back over it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it and y'all be like, no, it's not. But
I mean, it is Black History Month. Let's talk.
I mean, that's really what it is, essentially. We've been in a position to be so passive all of these years. And I mean, not to take you guys on a history moment, but it did start from slavery.
Yeah.
And then we went through Jim Crow, and then Crow, excuse me. And then we went through the Civil Rights Movement. So we've always been commandeering. We've always been passive. We've always been
Forgiving.
in servitude positions. We've always been in the place to always have to say we're sorry. But I will say, we are in an age and we are in a time where that's changing across the board. Not just for women, not just for black women, but it's changing across the board. No, nigga, no.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I won't say that everybody was forgiving.
Everybody,
and, because
but
there were some people who were like,
it was expected of us to be forgiving, though.
Yes,
because
yes.
we were inferior.
absolutely.
So you're inferior.
we were happy to be in the room. Like, thank
Also,
you.
I'm about
for
to
the
say
child.
it was a happy to be here
Right, I'm
mentality.
just happy to be
Just
here.
be, just happy,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
be happy to be
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
because it's one of you, and
or you better
60
be
of
blessed
us.
that you here.
Right.
That was also the conversation too. You better be blessed that you here, and
Right.
that goes for women as well as black people, because
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Don't invest into the idea of
I'm
brands and
not-
shit
I'm
like that.
just-
No, I'm saying what you're
Oh,
saying.
I
Like,
thought
you
you
should
was
be
going
blessed to
somewhere
be
else.
here
I'm gonna say, listen.
they'll leverage the fact that you love the brand that
Right.
you work for, and that shouldn't be where
Right.
you're
and
investing
then also
yourself
it's
into.
one of them things where it's like, you should be blessed to be here because 10 years ago you weren't. Look how in media with women, with women media is changing so quickly. All the news anchors, that was men. 20 years ago it was men. Everything has been a male driven, industry. And look how it's just changing. So of course, I mean, it's inept kind of for us to be like that, but
Time's up.
Right.
me too.
Me too.
No.
Speak for me
Speaking
too.
of, though, with the Time's Up and it being really focused around sexual harassment and primarily driven by women, Deani did ask a question last week.
Yes.
Do you think we have enough time for that?
Yes, we
Yeah.
have 20
Yeah.
minutes,
Let's,
25 minutes.
My question was, and I wanted to touch on the white feminist thing, but I guess we can do that
No, I want to touch
another day. I know I would love to touch that because it bothers me.
Can y'all do it?
No. So we're gonna talk about
Ding, ding, ding.
right.
Are you black or are you a woman first?
Are you black or are you a woman first? I gave y'all like what, a month to think about it. So you got
now
time
you're
to
got
sit
strong
down,
30, my nigga.
right, to think about what exactly you are first. I am going to say black first. I thought about it long and hard.
Why?
Because that is the first thing I see, and that's the first thing. I feel like being a woman is not enough at all because I'm black. You understand? Like, we're at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. And because of that, it's because I'm black. So I will see myself as black first.
Mm-hmm.
I will always, when anybody else that's not black looks at us, it's what's the first thing they see? She's black, and then she's a woman. And I'm okay, and I'm acknowledging the fact I love being black, obviously. Everybody knows that. But I will embrace my blackness first before I embrace being a woman. Because there are white feminists everywhere that get on my fucking nerves. And being a feminist, period, confuses me now we're in this era now where we can't even define feminism. You can't even be a feminist anymore because if you don't do certain things, you're just not a feminist. And I don't even understand that.
That's a whole episode.
I know, I'm just saying.
That is a child.
I don't understand
have
it. The
time
way
for
they
feminism.
define it on social media is so.
It's retarded. I feel like if you're a woman, you're a woman. You're a woman. That's just that.
That's it.
You're a woman. You
So
shouldn't have to create a whole nother name to represent the reason why you are a woman.
Right. It's a mess over there. I mean, it's a mess,
Mess over
in
there.
It's a mess over
over
there.
there.
It's a mess in blackness too, but I'd rather embrace that first. And
Which
that's it.
leads me to say why I think that I am a black woman is because you could never write a sentence and say I'm a woman black. Nobody has ever said that. I am a black woman.
Come on, Maya.
I mean, you can say I'm a
Angelou.
woman black,
Hello?
but then it becomes a
That's
whole
and it's
different
poetry.
type of thing.
It's like,
What did you say?
Kind of poetic.
That is a mixtape name.
the
It's
rose
a
gold.
Right.
It's the
It's a
rose
mixtape.
Black
gold.
It's a
woman.
mixtape name.
Yeah. I'm a black woman.
am with you, sis, because if Sandra Bland was
Hello.
a white woman,
White.
there wouldn't be no disrespect. The way that her body was treated, the way that she was treated, the way she was thrown around. We are not protected in the same way that other women of other races, white women are.
Hello?
So at the end of the day, like when a police pulls me over, weave and all, I am a black woman. He won't see his daughter or someone else like that. He'll see a black girl. Like, I can't not be black. I'm not. There's never been a time where I walked into a room and wasn't black first. People treat me as a black woman. Now I don't respond to people as like, I don't care how you treat me. I'm gonna walk in this room and you gonna love it. But at the end of the day, I'm a black woman first, and I think there's a very real way that shaped and molded me of my experiences because I am black first. Like, I
embrace it first.
I think after a while of having those experiences, you start to define yourself as black woman as time goes on because of like just how other people see you. But the question is, what do you identify with first?
Right.
Being black or being a woman?
Black.
And Diani posed this in the group chat, and I said, human. I am first a human, then I am a woman, and then I am black. And that's the tier. Why? Because when I was young and I was playing around with kids in the neighborhood and I was having a gay old time, as innocent as I was, I didn't say, I'm a black woman. No, I'm actually just existing. Right. I'm actually here, breathing, experiencing, having fun, getting in trouble. All I knew was right and wrong, morals, parents, sister. That's all I knew. And so I started going through experiences and recognizing that, oh, this kid he doesn't have breasts, or he doesn't have long hair like me. Oh, there's a difference in humans. There's woman, there's female, and there's male. And, it's gotten a bit complicated because of science and, just natural, like, genetics and stuff like that. But just for all intents and purposes, male and female. Wow, I'm of the female category. As time goes on.
Anymore, you have to say woman.
Woman?
You can't say female anymore. You have to say woman.
This is why I can't.
I'm just saying, you just can't stop.
I'm not male. How about that?
Thank you. All right, that's better.
Female.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, you can't say that either.
No, you can't even shout them out. Don't shout them out.
I'm not shouting them out. I stopped shouting people out a long time ago.
Everybody gonna fight you.
But as more experience started, and I was in schools, not daycare, not pre-K, where none of that shit fucking matters, but I was in schools. We had class pictures, and I was like, oh, my skin's a little darker than hers or his, and what does that mean? And I have to check whatever race I am on this box real. And this like what standardized test stuff of what am I? I remember asking my father, Daddy, what am I? Because I didn't know what to check. I didn't register myself as anything until I was asked, what are you, from someone who needed to categorize me for just sheer metrics or understanding. Then I was like, okay, black. But I started out as I'm a human. And it's the most common thing amongst all of us. We are all fucking human beings. And everything that boils down to it, if you're not on this black fist righteousness, it's at the end of the day, I just want to be treated like a fucking human being, which was partially
blackness.
Yes. This is why I say I want to go back to being treated without all these categories. Because at first and primarily, I'm a human being. So acknowledge me and respect me as such, which is what the narrative was for the civil rights movement. We don't want to be treated like animals and dogs. We are human beings just like you. Right. We were advocating for the common denominator, which is what I hold on to first and foremost. I'm never going to compromise that identity because there's a movement happening. I will participate in the movement, but I'm not going to change what I identify with just because I can't finish that thought because I don't know where it's going, but it's just, I'd rather hold on to what I define myself as first, independently, unaffected, before I entertain anything else that requires me to step into another skin or purpose or shoes. Because I don't know how many other ways to say it, but it's like, that's what it boils down to for me.
This was beautiful.
Are you still high?
Let all the listeners know.
She was high, y'all.
I was. Anyway, this is beautiful.
It's mad deep too.
But you didn't really answer Deani's question.
I did.
But it was, are you a human?
So you're basically going in which you were taught. I'm
saying I'm human.
You are human.
I'm none of what you offered as far as a solution or answer. I said I'm none of those. Scratch out A and
everything.
B. I wrote in my answer,
and then
human.
You are human.
You were that
yeah.
good, huh?
Okay.
Because I had this conversation with somebody who was like, I came out the womb black. I'm like, ain't no way you came out the womb knowing you was fucking black.
Nope.
You're just so passionately involved and committed to Black
Right.
struggle and narrative that you're
Yes.
like, I'm nothing else but Black.
Absolutely.
I get that, but
Right.
at some point you weren't that. At some point you weren't that
But-
because you didn't have the recognition or the experience to be like, I understand society now of this is me, or I choose to do this. I choose to walk in this narrative.
But that's some people.
That's some people.
I'm about to say, because there are people like me who was taught very early, you are Black.
Mm-hmm.
You know that. And although I lived in the Bronx and I understood, I wasn't hit with white people yet. I was hit with Spanish people who would point out the fact that I was Black. So at 5, 6, they say, oh, you're just very Black. It's just so dark. And so you ask, like, why? What's happening here? What is that? And after that, I had to embrace it. I had no other choice. You know what I'm saying? So because that's been, for me, women, yes, I am a woman, but I learned about Black people first before I was a woman, before I learned about being a woman. I actually think I learned and embraced Blackness first. So that's why I would pick Black. I totally understand the human thing. Human is dope. I just know that when it comes to also supporting and getting behind people, it will always be Black for me. You know what I'm saying? So that's also why I'm a Black woman first. I mean, I'm Black first because whenever this woman got escorted off a train today, but happened to be Black, she happened to be Black. I don't think she had enough fare. But the fact that she had no fare, I stood up and said, here, take the fare. You can just go.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? They followed her. The fact that you follow somebody from a PATH train is enough for me to be like,
crazy.
why? If a white person had done that, which they've never done because they've probably been paid to do, to get on the train, but because this Black girl can't get on the train, you would escort her out and then tell her she had to find her own way home.
Cops?
Yes.
There was a white woman that got arrested for plane hopping. So they don't check. Like, there's this 80-year-old white woman that's been hopping on planes.
Yeah,
and
I saw that the other day.
is literally, and she literally said, I'm an old white woman. Nobody checks me. How you get through TSA with no ticket?
Meanwhile,
Never mind.
what's the lady, the older Black lady that be stealing the Jews? Even though you shouldn't steal, but I'm just
Meanwhile,
just got caught.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, I feel more for her than I would probably had feel. And I'm sure I probably should, I don't know, that's bad, but tap, tap. The fact that I stand for Black
tap, tap was
people
his fame.
first is something that I will always do and forever do. And I've been taught to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked Black. Alicia?
So somebody on Twitter, she said, I think being Black and being a woman go together. I can't separate it or say one first before the other. Those two words together are special and they're magic. And out of all the tweets, and that was at Skyfall, shout out to her for even answering the question. There's a couple of people that answered and they were torn in answering the question. And I kind of felt the same way. I kind of felt like, I don't know if I can actually separate it. I know you guys want me to pick an answer, and I don't know if it's the way I was raised, which is similar to what Rebecca is saying. I don't think I can pick being one of those first without feeling like, I don't want to say human because that's what you said, but for lack of a better term, that's literally how.
Yeah, you can't say nothing.
Yeah,
else.
I know. I'm
You
just
feel
trying
me?
to. No, I'm just trying to think like if there's another
feel
way
like
to say, put it, but
alien.
you can't. Right? I mean, who knows? But so for me, I can't necessarily put one first before the other. I'm just thinking of the experiences that I've gone through, and it was kind of like that. Like I had compassion for everyone. I went to my first few years of schooling was in an all-Black community. It wasn't, if I didn't go to dance school in East Rutherford, New Jersey, I may have never seen white people before until I got to high school, which would have been years later. But I never saw any of that. Like, I never saw separation between any of that, like woman or being Black first. It was literally just being me. I never felt like I needed to define that. So for me to answer that question is kind of hard, and that's why I relate so much to what she tweeted, because I don't think I can separate the two. It's just one sentence. It's Black woman. Like for me, that's.
And I think what's attached to it is when people say, what do you identify with first, they automatically mean what's more important to you.
Right.
And it's two different things.
Right.
Well,
It's two different
I can't-
things.
I'm a black woman.
Yeah,
I
I know
think
that,
I
yeah.
can't. What's more important? I just don't know what I would say first, and I think black would be first. Black would be something I always
Black
will
would
say
be first too.
I will say
And-
this though. Lately, I have been feeling very like black, 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 black,
black,
black, black, and I really
y'all.
think it's
I'm
because all
black.
that's been happening with our president and just kind of seeing
That ain't even
the
why I feel so
disrespect.
black.
No. Just seeing the constant disrespect that people are going through, like even just on my train rides now, and just feeling a sense of entitlement from white men. Like you have to understand, I go to work at 9 a.m. So do you, and so does Rebecca. We go. Well, no,
They up at 9.
nigga, y'all just freelancers.
Just don't know your hours.
Do y'all go to
Gang,
work?
gang, gang,
Oh,
gang.
no,
No,
we're
we're happy. No,
Okay,
no,
okay,
no,
okay.
no.
we're just-
We
Oh,
weren't
okay,
upset.
because I
We're
thought
just-
y'all was about
Shout out
to
to
be
the
like,
freelancers.
Shout out to the
Also, I go to
freelancers.
work at 10, not 9.
but you gotta travel to work at 9. That's my point.
No,
9
24.
a.m.
Bitch, we put on sweatshirt at 9. Coming.
Facts. Me too. Me too. My train gets at my station at 9:12. I be walking
9:24.
outside at
I
9:08.
mean, like, Rebecca, you taking that 9:24 and 9:27.
Y'all are so cute.
Nah, but when I
Guys take the same
get to
train.
Penn Station,
it's
New
kinda
York,
whack. Can't shake her.
when I get to Penn Station, New York, there's a whole bunch of white men in suits.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
when
girl.
when you're getting off the train,
when you get on
there
the
are
train.
some things that I feel like, hold on, some things that I feel like they have a sense of entitlement for, like just even getting off the train without saying excuse me to me or like brushing past me. Maybe they don't take me seriously because I don't have a suit on, or maybe because I don't look, I don't have a brief.
No.
Look like I was left
it's
for bad
very
emotions.
possible.
They don't respect
No.
you.
Way just
No.
about, I don't feel that way just about the white men in suits. I feel that way even about the white train conductor who asks me every morning, are you going to buy the train app? Can you should buy the train app. No, I'm going to pay you with cash. Why can't I pay you with cash? It's still money. I feel that way, and she's a woman.
I feel that
don't just
way
feel that
about
way
the person who in zone 1, you can't even stand in zone 1 without somebody goes, this is zone 1 for an airplane. Because they know that you ain't supposed to get on first
Zone
class.
1, you not.
This is we're calling zone 1.
The
Yes,
sense
I'm
of
aware.
entitlement that
Thank
I'm
you.
talking about, that I feel comes from just feeling like, I don't know, again, if it's, I'm not wearing a suit, so you don't take me seriously. I don't have a briefcase. I'm black. My hair might not be as straight as you would like it to be, but lately I've been feeling when I get off the train or when I'm walking through the city that there's not a respect for me. Like I'm starting to feel that more in the
Right,
air.
but
I've never
what
felt
I
that
was saying-
before.
Well, that is.
You
What
can
I'm
just be like,
saying
fuck
is-
that.
What?
I'm entitled as well.
Oh no,
And then
I'm
just
trying
breeze
to
on
make my
through.
point.
Yeah,
And
but I'm
that's
happy
my
that
point.
you start. I mean, not starting to feel it or see, but seeing it is something too. Because there's a lot of people that
Who
don't
don't.
see it. They think, hey, no, we're all equal, and they treat us as such here in America. That's fucking
Well, I
bullshit.
never felt like that.
No,
but
but
I
there's
did.
people that say, I just don't feel. I don't.
Right? No, absolutely. There
feel
is a
that
kumbaya
way.
universe of people
Or maybe
who live
it's
in that
because
There
atmosphere.
are,
But
yeah,
I
there-
have
there-
lately
there
been
are.
feeling that, and I don't know if it's how our black men and how we've been feeling, and it's just hurting us more, and we're starting to wear it on our sleeve more. So lately, I have been very like feeling the physical sense of it as well as the uneasiness in the atmosphere of it as well.
What were you gonna say?
And
I'm sorry.
that is starting to really weigh on me heavy. So now if I did have to choose today in this very moment, I guess I would choose that I am black first. But if you were to ask me any other time, like before this, I wouldn't be able to separate the two.
Yeah. Did y'all see that Raven Simone post?
Ooh, Jesus.
That she
Can you
took
pull that
down?
up, Gia?
She
Yeah,
took it down.
yes, I
right?
can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She posted
The
a
resident
picture
journalist.
of the Jay-Z, you know, the picture of
At the Rock Nation brunch, I saw it live. It was great.
with Jay-Z, and it was a bunch of, you know, rappers and moguls on there, and she had
yeah.
said something, which I can't stand Raven Simone. Can't do it. I don't like her. Can't do it. But her caption wasn't. I didn't hate it. And Gia's going to read you the caption.
Yes, it's coming
Right
up right now in 3, 2, 1.
now.
Okay, so the meme said, A group of so-called successful black men, minus Khaled racially, who became rich and famous from perpetuating the worst black stereotypes to ears and eyes of the whole planet, like drug dealing, pimping, murdering other black men, and disrespecting black women. I know, making observations is being a hater. Cheers. And it was a person by the name of Speech _ who made this. Raven used the emoji with the
Yeah, with the little
monocle?
eyeglass.
with the monocle, no mouth expression, and a yellow heart.
Now, what did you guys think of that? If you could pass that around, Gia, to the family.
Oh, I just quit it.
Can you pass that around for the
family dinner.
for the
Y'all
podcast?
seen it, right?
Yeah.
Y'all seen it? What exactly are you? I'm a fan of hip hop. It's hard, and I'm a hypocrite. I call myself on it every day. Hypocrite every day. But Alicia wanted to see it. You want to see it, Alicia? Was she wrong?
That's another way of looking at it.
Was she wrong?
Was Raven wrong for reposting, or was the person wrong for that caption?
Was Raven wrong for the caption? Stop.
Well, Raven didn't write the caption.
Who wrote it?
A man
Oh,
named
she made
Speech.
them. She didn't make the meme.
No.
Okay,
agreed with
was
it.
Raven wrong for posting the meme?
I think that's irrelevant. Is whether
You know what?
is the caption
Is the
accurate?
meme-
That's another way of
Right,
looking
right.
at it.
See, I thought Raven wrote it.
Oh,
no.
Oh, she ain't that smart.
The Theo
I
from
knew that.
the Cosby Show had posted it before her, and another person had posted it before her, like someone else, like a man, another black man.
I knew
All right,
it.
so we going to diss on Theo too?
No, I love Theo.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Shout out
but
to
Raven
Theo.
has a
Yeah.
history.
Malcolm Jamal Warner.
She not wrong though.
I mean, she's not
She's
wrong,
just
sis.
it's just another perspective.
It's the truth.
You can say two very valid things about that one photo.
Because they did grow up.
That's their experience. What are you gonna talk about? What you haven't been through?
Right. Like, but hip hop, not just those people in that picture, hip hop in general turned very anti black women. Very like, it was just like Ubers, bitches, hoes, sluts, you know, hit her in the back of the truck, move her on. Like, that's what we listen to
What
every day.
here
Like,
and
we be twerking to it in the club. What's up? Where we at?
right, because we ain't no better.
We're
So
not,
I'm not saying
like-
I'm not any better. I definitely be singing to P.I.M.P. Like I sing it. I sing the
Yes.
songs.
So what did you
Love the
feel
beat.
about it? What don't
No, I
you
just
like about it?
you know how I wanted to fight Raven? I wanted to fight Raven on it, and I was like, damn,
Right.
fuck you. But I was like, damn, that's not bad, because that is actually
It's
factual.
accurate.
Yeah.
That's a very blanket statement.
And then
though.
T.I. had said, of course.
Yeah, T.I. came.
T.I. reached out and was like, hey, we all made mistakes. I'm like, well, listen, a lot of us made mistakes, didn't make money from it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us didn't do that and just, you know, profited on basically degrading black women forever.
It's very accurate, but we've embraced it as
Right.
our culture.
Right.
Anytime niggas be like, "Oh, I could twerk to knock if you buck and listen to Erykah Badu in 1 minute," everybody's like, "It's culture. It's hip hop culture. It's what we do. It's black culture. It's how we
It
live."
makes me upset.
I can't
But,
even lie.
I
to
mean,
you.
it goes back to the other conversation of how passive we've been on things and how, you know, well, this is just what we do. We do nigga shit, right? So might as well embrace it. Everybody gotta.
That's crazy. Yeah, and that's the crazy thing. Like, what are you going to do about
I
that?
was about to say, yes, hip hop has, for lack of a better word, shitted on
Black
women
women.
in general for the past 10, 15, 20 years.
20.
Are we going to do anything about it? Are we going to stop listening? Like, what's up? Are we only going
Nope.
to listen to 444, Kendrick, and Cole? Like, what are we really about to do? 'Cause
I mean, but if we bringing up 444, look how
Growth,
long it
right.
took to get
growth,
there.
Right.
growth. That's what I'm
We
saying.
also
I mean,
did a
thank
song
God
called
for the
Bitches
Cole.
and Sisters. So
That's
I
what
think
I'm
there's a
saying,
difference
like-
where it's like, we know who you're talking about. We also know who you're not talking about.
Right. I mean,
There are, you can't give a blanket statement to something like hip hop because you can't. There are nuances to it. You can't. That's why I said you could say two very different things about the same photo and they both be equally right.
And I think black men always used to use that whole thing of like, well, if you not a hoe, you shouldn't be upset, ma. If you not a bitch, you shouldn't be upset. And I used to be
Why
like,
you mad?
Where's
though?
he from?
like Brooklyn.
Got it.
I mean, I walk past him every day. I used to be like, I think that justification used to be like, well, he's not talking about me. But then as I got older, I really like, I can't listen to this music every day. Like I can't listen to the Migos Call Me a Bitch every single day. I got to find a balance.
Shout out to
because
Stir Fry, though. Stir Fry is a good song.
Stir Fry is popping. Shout out to Pharrell. But
It is.
at the end of the day, like realistically, if you putting that in your head every single day, like that's what you start to believe about yourself. So I was like,
That's not their fault. That's what you choose to consume.
That's not their fault. That's why I said I chose not to consume it as much, Auntie, because I feel as though it was getting into my personal sport.
Right. And then, but also then you have those men who think that they can just call you it because it's on a song. You understand?
Ignorance, yeah.
So there's those that think, oh, you dancing in a song. Obviously, you a bitch or a hoe, and I can call you either because
You
it's gonna
dancing.
work. Right. And that's that happens a lot of
You
times.
on stage with a leotard, I could throw money.
I can
Just
throw
like
money.
a stripper.
Wow.
Hello.
Come for Ashanti.
Hello.
Actually.
See, and then there's that.
I just play
What?
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, see, there's another side, there's another perspective to it.
What did you say? Sophia?
I was like, actually, I was gonna play around and be like, you can throw money at me, but I mean, there are people out there who believe like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't. It's so hard to look that in the face because
most people don't.
Exactly
The truth.
because it's so hard to do. So yeah, I wanted to bring that up because
That's good.
I don't know what we were gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna do about that.
Is it too much to say we like being niggas?
I mean, no.
Somebody just said that earlier. I forgot who it was. Like us being niggas. I'm like, is there something where we like being niggas? Because niggas is like having culture.
Yeah.
See,
You know what I mean? Like, am I missing? Is that
No.
Very similar?
This is really good. I think our next episode we need to dive into this because it's. Listen, this
I can't.
next episode we gotta
I'm just
dive
asking
into
the
it.
question.
That's a good question. That's
I'm
a really
my
good
nigga.
question.
Like I'm my nigga.
I mean, but you my nigga too.
right. But see, I ain't everybody nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to do. I don't know because I ain't a lot of.
I love niggas because niggas is me.
The niggas are me.
And nigga. But Deadass like.
It's next episode.
That's hard.
We're gonna do our research too, y'all. We promise.
Listen,
so that
I've
we
been
can come
watching-
and talk.
Y'all, I've been watching documentaries out the ass. Gia's been trying to get me off of watching all these very upsetting documentaries I've been watching just to upset myself. I'll say this again. I said this before since it's Black History Month. I Am Not Your Negro. Really good documentary. I've watched it 6 times so far. It's amazing. Great. Black Panthers on PBS. Really good.
And he's coming out with a new one on February 19th, which is about HBCUs. The producers from that are coming out with We Are Rising. So y'all should check that out on PBS.
Maya Angelou and Still I Rise. Really good documentary to watch. The other one about Philadelphia, The Move. Safira.
I know what you're talking about.
Fuck.
When they bombed Philadelphia,
They bombed that whole block.
Yeah.
And then that literally only happened like 30 years ago, which is insane to me.
A whole like
Jesus
12
Christ.
kids.
Yeah. I'm looking for it now. I'm sorry. But
yeah, thank you guys.
what other things can they read for Black History Month if you guys have anything?
You can also read I Am Not Your Negro.
You
There's
can
a
read
memoir
that
of
too.
it. Native Son.
Oh God.
I'll list some things. My mom's an English teacher.
Oh,
List them.
The Color of Water by James McBride. Very
Absolutely.
good book. Very good book.
Absolutely.
James McBride actually grew up with my mom.
shout out to your mom, yo.
It's a-
She's poppin'.
yeah, she's pretty dope.
Giovanni's Room. James Baldwin. Really good. But that's not Black History enough.
Y'all send us some titles as well.
Zora Neale Hurston.
Yeah.
Their Eyes Are Watching God. Yeah, y'all can read
Black
that.
History Month.
What actually, y'all could also let us know what y'all are reading in general.
Yeah.
Start a
Just-
thread, y'all.
Start it up. And shout out to your friend Ayana. She started a book club, right?
Oh, she did start a book club.
The
It was a
Brownians.
great club. Our first book was Difficult Woman by Roxane Gay.
Mhm.
Great writer. Amazing stories. Dark, but
Brazy.
brave, insane.
But
But it was really good. And it explores different parts of being a woman. Very dark parts of being a woman. So it's really good. I liked it.
Well,
Yes.
guys,
So that's it for us.
Episode 26.
thanks for
26.
listening.
Again, you can find me at Scotty Beam.
At Alicia P.
At Safira M.
At Gia Peppers.
At Black Daria BLV CKDRA.
And at Black Girl Pod.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.